We continue our story with Celine basically telling Malzeno, "Hey, look, you don't have to worry this time, darling. I'll help you." To which they both kind of just summon the strength that they have. With Malzeno, keep in mind, he just came from a double battle with Scorn Magnamalo, and Gaius McGorn, who had just eaten two Elder Dragons to gain more power. He's a bit tired here. But again, Celine blasts Abyss with everything she has, but he simply laughs, stating that he's gained more power than he could ever dream, absorbing all those Elder Dragons thanks to your efforts, Malzeno. How wonderful. And Malzeno doesn't take too kindly for this and actually tries to skewer him with his tail. But just barely. The tip, no diddy, actually manages to puncture the armor. Just a bit here. And this is where Abyss, again, simply laughs at it, as again, it's not going to work. But this is where he simply states, "Allow me to show you just how much power I've gained." And this is where he glows in a risen form and takes the stance of a Kushala Daora. To which Malzeno's like, "You gotta be effing kidding me." To which, yeah, he unleashes a tornado bomb, if you will, if that's what we're gonna call it here. And Malzeno blocks it, preventing Celine from taking damage. But this is where you can actually see the little bit of wear and tear on him. To which he wonders where Abyss is. Both of them do. They disappeared. However, Celine uses her energy senses and then sees him on top of the ceiling, or at least above the area. And he's actually preparing an ultimate, to which it takes Malzeno a couple minutes to realize it. And then he's like, "Wait a minute, that looks awfully familiar. Oh my god. No, 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 no." To which he uses his tail to snatch up Celine, and he dips out of the cave. The explosion of dragon energy is so powerful that he's barely able to escape it. Like, he tosses Celine in front of him and then uses his wings once again. And them wings is adorable in this one. I mean, dear God. And even in general, his wings are just pretty adorable. But again, he uses his wings to block it, kind of sending him forward. But again, Celine's like, "Oh my God, that could have killed you." To which he's like, "Yeah, you think?" To which this is where he then decides to go into his full power state. But again, he's tired, exhausted. He hasn't really had a chance to really rest at this point. And he tells Abyss to bring it. To which Abyss then takes the sands of Shagaru Magala and utilizes the frenzy to attack. However, Celine is very quick here, utilizing her own dark magic, her dark force, to basically counteract the frenzy, basically blasting each one so that Malzeno does not get hurt by it, allowing Malzeno to close the distance. And this is where he actually does begin to cause Abyss some serious damage. But again, Abyss is laughing at this, stating that all you're doing is just helping him. To which Malzeno simply states, "Is that right? Because I can hear the fear in your tone." To which Abyss, again, is just simply laughing at this. And this is where he grabs Malzeno and restrains him, and then takes the form of a risen Teostra and blasts a supernova at point blank range, causing Malzeno to plummet to the ground hard. But he's able to get up out of the crater that's made, still in his full power state. This is where Celine then utilizes energy daggers to try and pierce that one spot that Malzeno had left. Keep in mind now the fact that there's more tears on his armor, I should say, Celine's able to actually penetrate through the armor a lot better. This allows Malzeno to go in and pretty much, I'll probably say he goes in for like an aerial ace-like maneuver, but then utilizing his wings, utilizing the tip of his wings, he's able to plunge right through the armor, causing a massive explosion that leaves him and Celine exhausted. Malzeno is barely having anything in the tank, and he's like, "Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, I need a Centaurier or a Hermitor." To which she's like, "Now? You're thinking about food? Really?" To which he's like, "Yes, what else could I be thinking about?" To which this is where Velkhana actually appears, and she's sizing up the destruction, to which Malzeno looks at her like, "What is she here for? We killed her, right? Ah, crap, I feel it." And this is where Malzeno himself goes right back into his full power state, but this time he winces. It's starting to strain his exhausted body. And he knows this. Velkana, also seeing this, goes down to check on him, actually helping him up a bit, even though it's kind of hard for him to stand. But this is where Abyss comes out, with only tiny fragments of the armor left. They see the green energy beneath him, and he states this is more than he could have ever asked for. And to which he then sheds his coil and reveals his second state. Now, Abyss's second state is on the left side here, just to kind of get you guys, affiliated with him. And this is where both Malzeno and Velkana stand side by side, looking at this creature as if it's an abomination. A former hunter that took the power of elder dragons and fused itself. To which Celine says, alright, whew. Round 2 it is then. However, this is where she's blasted in the back. And the other 2 hooded figures are standing there, with Malzeno and Velkana kind of looking in between here as if, oh, nah, they might get jumped. However, Celine gets up from this and is like, a clever plan you've had so far. Isn't that right, Doom and Kane? To which both Dr. Doom and Juggernaut just decide, you know what, F it. Take off their coil, and obviously Juggernaut activates his Crimson Gem, showing his full form. And this is where Doom simply states, it is only just beginning, Celine, and you know this. To which this is for Fiorine actually comes out of nowhere from the top rope and actually decks Juggernaut with her shield, causing him to tumble back. And she simply states, sorry to arrive so late. Had to deal with an afflicted Chameleos this time. To which this is where they're looking like, the affliction still never went away. That means there's probably another Geismagorm. But right now, Abyss simply states, to think all this time, I've been going about it wrong. Hunting and using it for profit when I could have used it for power. To which this is where Velkana actually unleashes a barrage of ice shards at Abyss. However, Abyss in his second form is a lot more agile and a lot more slick. So he kind of just maneuvers around them and then, utilizing his own abilities, send the shards flying back, with Malzeno having to block them. But again, considering he's so much weaker at this point, he simply tumbles over after the final few shards, managed to finally break his defense. However, this is where the moon comes out, and it reveals something. The tower. A place filled with multiple monsters of an Elder Dragon level class. Stronger than any average Elder Dragon. And the top contender waiting. To which Fjorn is like, no. Not now. It shouldn't be here. It shouldn't have risen so soon. To which Celine is like, so this means this is the pinnacle of the resurgence, of the anomalies. But what is at the top of the tower? To which this is where they hear a roar at the top of it, and a storm brewing. But not just one, 2 storms. 2 different roars also going off at the same time. Interesting. However, Doom senses an opportunity to make Abyss even stronger. And he tells him, go now, go forth, and take that power, and become the nexus of this reality. To which Abyss simply states, don't mind if I do, Lord Doom. And he flies off at incredible speeds. And this is where both Malzeno and Velkana look at each other. And they know they have to stop him. They know they have to beat him here and now. Otherwise, he's going to become way too powerful to even deal with. So this is where Malzeno flies up and Velkana follows suit as quick as possible. And they both unleash their respective attacks, trying to slow down Abyss. And, well, I think I'm just going to leave it off here. Now you might say, Legendary, why? We could get so much more. Now. I got a lot of stuff now. Because, again, this is going to go into what if Bayonetta was in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity. I wanted to establish Malzeno as kind of like the Monster Hunter character, if you will, right? So he'll be replacing, that character entirely and actually participating in the game. Also, I am going to be doing this and delivering the last few parts. I think it's either 4 or 5 parts left where, you kind of just wrap it up right then and there. But I will also be doing this back to back with the final 4 and 5 parts of What If Trypticon was in Transformers Prime. So just to kind of get you guys ready for everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please comment down below, like and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I'll be seeing you guys for the next few parts. Peace.